I think what makes this Soul Trader, Soul Leader retreat unique or special is that the book and the retreat are conceived from the heart. It's about helping people really connect with themselves, their own heart, and to them to get the heart of what they're trying to do in their business and their career. And what's also unique is that the people who we've got on this retreat are all uniquely on that journey. We've got choreographers, we've got retreat coordinators themselves, we've got somebody who runs a network for women of colour in business and awards for those people, we've got an accomplished PR specialist and an author. We've got somebody who runs a business in the whole field of science, medicine and so on. So we've got a real rich, diverse group of people who are all doing really passionate things. And what's really key is that they're able to really authentically look at themselves and their business. And so what we've done is we've put down to a program that not just has the classic retreat stuff, you know, time to rest, recharge, yoga and mindfulness that you might see in your classic retreat, but also what we've put together is some really, really important self and business development, which is what the Soul Trader book is synonymous for. So it's giving them that opportunity to really look at themselves, their goals, their passion, their purpose, challenge them to think about, well, who are my customers, what do I want? Really getting them to dig deep in terms of what courage actually means for them. And also crucially, because they're sole traders, they're working often by themselves, to give them that opportunity to think, okay, how do I cooperate? How do I build the team that I need so I'm not stranded, I don't feel isolated? And then we're going to take them on to really look at, okay, what the conversations, how can they market themselves and promote themselves? And how is it that they're able to be creative? Many of them are creative, so how are they able to create that structure to move themselves and their business further forward? And then we're going to again take them deeply into compassion so they take care of themselves and their lives moving forward. And then finally to help them to look at how is it they face and embrace change. So I think what makes this unique is that it's quite a rich program that is really, really holistic, looking at self, business and leadership development, but also that we give them time to rest, recharge. And that's important, that people also can have fun on this process, because being a soul trader can often be challenging. So we want these people to feel as though they're rounded and that they can be themselves, that they can have fun and bring fun into the business, and sometimes to bring the heart back into their business.
I'm Lee. I organise retreats and events, and I've been doing that altogether for about 18 years. So I'm really happy to be here, really happy to do the mergence of a business retreat with a relaxation retreat, and also coupled with self-development. And really happy to be with this beautiful group of people who are really authentic and just living their life to the fullest and making the most of the opportunity so far, really expressing their gratitude, and that really works.
I'm Justin. I'm a yoga teacher, an IT professional, meditation teacher, and all-round supporter of retreats. And I'm here to basically help spread the knowledge of self-awareness and self-discovery, which I think is an integral part to anybody who's trying to find what works for them, how to live their life authentically, and if they're a soul trader, how to stay on focus.
So I'm Lydia Pelosi. I'm the founder of the Precious Awards and Precious Online.
I'm Jessica Huey, and I'm an entrepreneur and author of Purpose.
My name is Ashley Simon. I'm a dancer and a choreographer now for over 10 years.
I'm Jazz, and my company is Onyx Life Sciences, and I help companies, pharmaceutical companies, to get through their drug approval process.
My name is Dwayne, and I am a nurse, a mental health nurse, and I'm also a dancer and a budding choreographer.
Yeah, you've been in the business for some time. What's drew you to this retreat? Why are you here?
This retreat, I think, because you're also my business coach as well, there was an opportunity when this came up, that it was an opportunity that I could get away from work, think about the next steps of what I'm going to do in the business, and take that time out, and where otherwise I wouldn't.
So for the last year or so, I've been toying in terms of kind of going back into choreography. So this retreat is just to kind of get me a bit of a kickstart into the retreat.
For me, it's about having time for myself to think about my life and career going forward, and to get some clarity, really. I think it's really important, but I don't think we do it enough. I know that I haven't done it for a very long time, so that's why being here is particularly important to me. Absolutely.
Opportunity to just slow down and be really present and rest. also look in at my work, and rather than being in it and making decisions, having that opportunity to do that from a place of sort of quiet, so that I can be sure that the decisions I'm making are aligned with what I really want.
I think for myself, it's really seeing how this kind of process works, because our history or our experience is really running more spiritual retreats and running more meditative retreats. And I feel that a lot of people, I'm also an entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, since a young child, really always dabbling with different things, but then merging this kind of more spiritual path with a more authentic lifestyle, and also making that something that is also very sustainable. So that's the challenge, I guess, we're facing, because we're always used to working with NGOs and NPOs, but now to learn how to kind of take care of ourselves in that way too, and sustain ourselves also going forward, being able to offer this to people, but in a way that is also very practical and very pragmatic and very grounded.
To offer a kind of a path of sustainability, so that we can do this in a not in a 9 to 5 way, but in a sustainable, to make this our occupation rather than a side thing that we really like doing, but we have to fit it in with other schedule. I feel relaxed. I feel like I've got the headspace to do this work, to finally to headspace to work on how we're going to do this, a plan, something going forward, without it being too stressful.
Today is the first full day. Yesterday was the introduction. You got to meet each other for the first time. How's the first full day been? And today was looking at clarity. How have you found the first full day?
Really good, because everybody comes with such a different business or background, and actually just listening to each other, that what they're going through, their journey and their business, we're all so very different.
It's the first kind of retreat that I've been on where I think it's the mixture of mind, body, and soul. I mean, it's like in the morning we get up at 7 o'clock and we're doing yoga, and then I think it's then like, for example, we've just added in that tomorrow we're going to do mindfulness. We're looking forward to going to the forest. The idea of changing my diet. On this retreat, it's mostly vegetarian. And it's, for me, it's just exploring that. I think it's just, those are the things that I wasn't factoring in. So it's like a bonus.
Yeah.
Of it now, because we're now on day 3. The first day was just people arriving and settling in. Yesterday was about clarity, and today's been all about customers. So how are you feeling, and how have you felt about today?
Today's been brilliant. I mean, the whole thing has been really, for me, really revealing, really authentic, really safe space to sort of be myself. And one of the best things about it is just having people around me in the same sort of space, or aiming to be, and just being really open about how we're feeling, where we want to go, and asking for help from each other as well. It's been lovely.
And how have you found the experience so far?
Same, just wonderful group of individuals, and the exercise this morning was brilliant. Going out into a sort of real, experiencing that customer seller dynamic in the market.
Because we're in the market, yeah.
Yeah, just brilliant, and it's like there's these fundamental truths, I think, that sort of underpin business that we can forget. And the exercise this morning was a brilliant way just to remind us actually of the human interaction that is at the very very essence of the customer-seller relationship, and just yeah, it was great.
And how have you felt about the blend of the content? And are there particular bits of the content that you found more challenging or more fun or more silly or anything else? How have you felt about the blend of the content? Anything that particularly that drew you to the retreat, or any things that you particularly enjoyed, or things that you found, oh my God, that was challenging?
The yoga has been, it's my first time today, it's great, I loved it. And it's fabulous to do it when I get home as well. And also the mindfulness session we did today was really interesting. Yeah, just it's all about clarity, isn't it? And it's really helping me sort of like think about my way forward when I get home.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And again for you, Jessica, what about how have you felt about the content?
I've loved it. I mean, I'm loving it because it's a combination of switching off to having our minds and hearts stimulated. It's the combination which is really rich and unusual, I think. So I'm grateful for it. I feel very rested and inspired.
And what are your hopes for, because we're just verging on tomorrow's going to be halfway through, what are your hopes for the rest of the retreat, and what are you wanting to leave with? Because I guess there's still work to do in terms of taking that time out for yourself and in terms of your business. And what are your hopes to leave the retreat with once we get to that by the end of the program?
I think I want to leave here with a plan, confidence to go forward, and an even great sense of purpose, really. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Me, I think, I'm enjoying the rest. I'm enjoying the chance to get back in touch with what's important to me. And yeah, just having a strengthened connection with that. I'll be very happy with that.
Fantastic. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow when we go into the forest. And I think we're taking a ferry. And so we're looking forward to catching up with you tomorrow, and then we'll find out by the end of the retreat how you felt about the whole
And delicious
experience.
food. We have to mention
Oh yeah,
the
the
food.
delicious food.
Delicious
Oh my
food.
God.
Delicious food, absolutely. But actually, before we close, can I just ask you about again in terms of the people on the retreat? How have you found that bit? Because again, it's when you talked about being open and so on and sharing and all that. Has it been challenging? Have you found the stuff about the other participants
Really
on the retreat?
comfortable. It's like we've known each other forever.
Right.
It's been really open and just lovely and warm. Yeah,
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
I think it's it's an extension of you, Rashid, and in terms of the individuals that have been attracted to this, and it's just a wonderful, honest, authentic group of people with whom I expect we'll have many collaborations moving forward, and that's a real beautiful benefit of it. So thank you.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you
Well,
very much.
Today's content was great. We went to the forest and we were working on courage and cooperation. The members of the retreat were also paired together, and we were just walking up through the forest, and as we were talking actually about courage. And it was very insightful actually just to see the different ways that courage is manifested. And also it was also very reassuring to see the ways that courage has appeared in my life.
actual experience of how it's actually been.
It's been amazing, actually. It's been incredible. It's been challenging also, but in the best way. Challenging in the sense of we're being, I think, asked to grow. We're being asked some very tough questions, actually, that no one would necessarily ask you if you weren't on a retreat or if you didn't have that kind of support and encouragement and that kind of environment. And I think I just feel very lucky because the space that's been created it feels like a very safe space to tackle these, big questions really You know, questions like what is your purpose? Questions were being asked and not generic. They're very specific. The answers we're being asked to give are very detailed. We're also working a lot together in collaboration, which in itself is very empowering. Just to know that there's other people on the same journey as you, even though perhaps the journey they're on might look slightly different. Actually, what's driving that journey is the same.
Again, the same question. So where are you at right now with the retreat?
I'm quite excited actually. I feel that there's a lot of possibility and potential, and I think this is something that, you know, even though there's a lot of planning and excitement and everything about this retreat, but at the same time the possibility and the potential now has become very, very real. So I'm really grateful. I've just enjoyed being there with everybody and just watching everybody's process and also going through the process themselves. It's been wonderful.
To make it happen, you've got to go through this process.
Same, ready for the learning. Absolutely.
And it's nice that we're going to be accountable for it as well. It's not going to just end here. Is that?
Yeah, because you've all buddied up. You all buddied up yesterday.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think that's going to be important to keep you on track. Otherwise, there could be an element of like, oh, okay, we've done it. It was a great weather, great food. Now we go back.
Great, and to have a body and someone who I believe that is kind of it's quite a good match. You know, someone you know that is gonna be there to kind of bounce things out. Most importantly, you're there to kind of support as well. So the symbiotic relationship, and I think it's being here over the last couple of days and finding and having that body up system. I think it's quite. I'm really optimistic about the future in terms of the next step. You know, so it's quite.
System, actually quite like it. Although on one hand I feel a little bit afraid because I have to be accountable, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I'm really grateful because it's so often that after these types of things, it's easy to forget about everything. You know, you just attend, and then the next day you go back to work and you do whatever. And maybe for the first week you keep it up, but after a few days it kind of peters out, and then you're back to square one, right? Back to this circle of not knowing what's going on and what should I do, and hopes and fears. And I think with the buddy system, at least, holding accountability, again, having people who have a little bit more experience, maybe with business or whatever field, to help you and encourage you and to give you some practical advice. It's not so much somebody being a policeman checking, but somebody that can really offer you good advice and real practical.
With Lee, Feluke and Jazz. We're at Soul Trader Retreat Day 5 now. Today 5 has been all about conversations and creativity. Just wanted to ask you each one at kind of where are you at right now with the retreat? Who wants to kick us off?
I will say that I'm still loving it. It's been really challenging, intense, but much needed, I think. And I'm sort of brimming with ideas from all this creativity. So I'm just so glad that I actually came.
Wonderful.
It's been a really good opportunity to take the time away from work and really think about it. And each day, as we go through certain subjects, there's things on there that you have like an aha moment. Think, oh yes, I haven't thought about that, or I did do that before, but I've forgotten how to do it. And it's something to take back, to implement when you go back. So I think that's been more important. Yeah, and it is a bit exhausting at times that you feel that's really quite taxing on your mind. And when you sort of sit back and you reflect, that's when you feel, actually, yes, I can see it. I can see. And sometimes you don't realise it as you're going through it. And also the other thing that's been really important is the peer learning and the other connections that everybody's got. That's been really
The best bit.
And for you, we're here with Justin and with Dwayne. And I just want to find out, we're on day 5 of the retreat now, and today's been all about creativity and about conversations. Am I right? It seems like there's been so much that's gone on today, because we started off with yoga as always, and then it was quite a busy day in terms of with content. We went quite into a lot of depth about that. But I just want to find out, at this point of the retreat with just one full day left, how are you feeling right now about the retreat? Dwayne, I'll turn to you first.
A mixture of emotions, but I think for me, it's what I'm beginning to feel is a feeling of gratitude. I'm just being grateful for, because today we had to go back and we had to think about what's a plan we're moving on, and I think the key thing I'm beginning to kind of deal with, which I found today really in the first place, the toughest day of the retreat so far, because I had to go to places which I wasn't comfortable with, but I'm grateful for my journey I've had up to date, and I think going back and kind of thinking about what I've done, my achievement, and the things, there's a lot to be grateful for, and I guess not forgetting that. So gratitude is the word I'm taking from today.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And how about for you, Justin? Where are you at right now?
I'm feeling quite optimistic about the future. I feel like the plan is manifested almost in spite of myself. A lot more clarity, and I'm feeling optimistic that maybe this plan is more than just a pipe dream, and maybe something can really impress us.
Fantastic. And again, Dwayne was just saying that degree of challenge. It must be interesting if you double header again, as you've been running and the retreat and the yoga sessions. Have you found moments that when you've been participant, have you found that kind of challenging? Any thoughts on that?
I feel maybe not always attending all of the sessions. There's a small gap sometimes, and I would have, in the future, I would like to spend more time, or maybe redoing some of the sessions to get a more complete overview. But generally, I feel it's quite complete, and I feel like I've received something quite completely. It's quite a nice change from attending like a weekend workshop or a one-day workshop where you maybe get the same content, but it's just so much that it's almost worthless because you just cannot grasp it. Whereas at least now there's some time to work on a plan or an idea and to bounce it off people, and we've got so many diverse people on the retreat with us who are at different stages in their business and have different experiences. I don't feel like it's the blind leading the blind. There's always somebody who you can bounce off an idea, who has some experience, or who can at least guide you, maybe not all the way, but at least give you some practical advice.
On that note, very briefly, I just wanted to ask a little bit, because yesterday you buddied up. I was just chatting to a couple of the ladies about that. How have you found that buddying up kind of process? Has that been interesting? Has that added extra dimension? How have you felt about that?
I've loved this experience. It's been just so varied and just way beyond any expectations that I did have. But I love the ocean. I also love the topic. I love the idea of looking at compassion and change, and I think they're both so powerful. So if it's just based on the experience so far, I'm sure it'll be incredibly revealing and profound and impactful.
Wow, and how about for you, Ashley?
I'm so excited to go to the ocean. Absolutely. Like two fishes, 2 Pisces going to the ocean.
Oh, wow.
So absolutely excited, and I think change can be such a, not heavy, but such a big word, but I think it's also a good ending. It's a necessary ending. It's a natural progression to that point. We did a lot of work, we put a lot of steps in place, and I think change is the natural next step. Okay, we said what we're going to do, and about that action to make it happen. And I think in that vein also compassion, it goes with change for me, actually, because I think sometimes in trying to make a change or trying to take action, we can be also too hard on ourselves, and I think it's nice that it balances it for me, to just allow ourselves and accept ourselves and allow the process of change to take place rather than trying to force it to happen.
Deassembled after the wonderful week that we've had. How are you both feeling?
I'm feeling good. I feel that, after last night, we kind of had the tailor off of the retreat, and I think everybody's feeling really purposeful. I was using the term optimistic, but I think maybe the word's more purposeful and have some goals to work towards, including myself, of course. And that it all tailored off and wrapped up really, really nicely. I feel like There's not too many open-ended questions, more goals than questions.
Well, I just want to thank you so much, and I just want to say on behalf of me, in terms of Soul Trader Retreat, thank you so much for making this such a magical retreat and for just creating such a wonderful environment for everybody. And it's wonderful to see everyone's bonding and connecting, and it wouldn't be possible without your foresight. And thanks for asking me to run the Soul Trader Retreat here in Lisbon. So thank you so much.
Wouldn't do it with anyone else.
Oh, that's
We
really
couldn't
good.
do it without you either.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I think we better get back in because we're just about to do our evening talk. So they get all that content and it's inspiring talks. So let's head back in.
I love the ocean, so it's always, I think it's that space where you get headspace as well, and just the kind of the symbolism of the voyage, crossing the river, going over and having some relaxation and downtime at the ocean. I think it's really important, and just recalibrating and digesting everything that's been happening the last week. I think it's really important to have that feeling of vastness and space and grounding.
Well, thank
Yeah, the buddying was fantastic because I think for somebody, it's definitely what I really appreciated at this stage of my kind of journey, and embarking down a slightly new road and looking for support and finding it within this group. I mean, there's a holistic support for sure. But I think the buddying works really well, having someone that you can just have that kind of guidance and sisterhood. It feels like exactly what I need at this stage where I am, so it's been wonderful.
And Ashley, how about yourself?
Very similar. I'm not piggybacking your answers, I swear. But it's nice to just have that resonation, because Dwayne and I, we both come from a dance background, and we just have so much, I think, in common and so much to offer. So it's actually like a brotherhood of sorts, or like the early beginnings of a brotherhood, which is nice.
Fantastic. Let you ask questions.
Please continue as you were.
Well, yeah, I was just saying that actually it's quite funny. The retreat, and it's funny, obviously I've been running the retreat and very immersed in running the retreat and making sure everyone has a wonderful time. But I don't know if you feel this way as well. I feel as though I spent half of my life on this retreat. I know I haven't spent half of my life for that retreat. I know I'm not quite that young, but do you know what I mean? But it is quite an intense kind of experience in a really, really good way. And yeah, I was just saying I'm quite looking forward to just watching and reflecting back on this whole experience. I don't know if you've got any thoughts on that, if that really resonates with you.
Yeah, it does. It does. I'm sure there'll be quite an interesting. I just think it's great to be able to track, how we've responded to. Yeah, it does. It feels intense, but and profound, and just it's been rare in the sense that it's been the impact has been both very practical. Here are some tangible things that we can put into place and take away and action, but also, just real depth and just profound. It's been a really rich combination of learning and
and the
kind
sharing.
of speechless.
And the share, for me, some of the sharing, how open everyone's been. And for example, one of my highlights was your talk yesterday. Yesterday was really tough. Everyone had to talk. Everyone had to give a talk. I thought that was a really emotional day. But your talk, I thought, was so powerful because it came from the heart, which this whole thing is very much about. That really just struck me, and how I think this whole thing's about heart-centered business. And it's just so good seeing how, in so many different ways, everyone's coming from that heart-centered space, and it seems more like a camaraderie that's kind of developed with everybody in this retreat together, whilst they're still going on their very, very, very separate journeys.
And it's almost like, what is the ultimate goal? And it's, you talk about the courage to become who you are, and I feel like that's the ultimate goal. But actually, this retreat's a little bit like a mini lifetime, of really finding the courage to be who you are, and looking at everything that entails. The accountability, looking at your journey thus far, looking at your vision and your dreams, and coming face to face with yourself. So I think that's why I guess it feels quite like a little mini lifetime.
The one thing I've not done, because I've been preparing, is the yoga and so on. So the yoga and the mindfulness. So has that given, I'd imagine that therefore there's an extra layer that you've all experienced because you've been going from getting up early in the morning, having your yoga, coming for a session with me and the leadership business development and so on. Then there'll be dinner and all that experience with everyone, lunch or dinner, free time, and then perhaps in the evening the relaxation and so on. So has it felt like a, wow, such an immersive on all levels kind of experience?
Yeah, and wonderfully so, because it's kind of a taste of some of the tools that will support us in continuing this work and in living in a balanced mind, body, spirit way. And I feel great. I feel, sleeping well and deeply and physically alert and it's been great. The yoga and meditation has been a really wonderful.
Yeah, I think for me, I think the last thing I would say is that for me, maybe my highlight has just been those connections that have been forged. Just really lovely connections, and of course one of my hopes very much earlier was that it's been quite interesting because a number of people have worn a number of hats, which I think has been special about the retreat. Yourself coming along speaking, Fluke coming speaking, of course Lee and Justin being the retreat organisers. So it's been very much a soul traders, soul leaders retreat where we're all doing quite a lot of stuff in our own lives. Have you got any thoughts on that as somebody who is a leader in the work that you do and where you're working with people, helping people with their own lives, their own businesses? Have you, has it had an extra level of resonance for you for that? And has it been helpful given that extra hat that you wear?
Yeah, I mean, it's so often I'm on the other side of this. I think we need this time. I'd encourage anybody who, works as a mentor or a coach or in the kind of doing the kind of work where we're sharing our skills to do this, because we need that check-in too. We need that time out to look inward as well. We need that moment to stop and be and assess and feel and recalibrate. So it's been just rich and wonderful to be able to contribute where I have, but just to be guided and not in that driving seat has been wonderful.
I think that's the interesting thing. I think one of the things that struck me, I think, Tyler, is that openness, how everyone's being vulnerable. You see everyone's strength, but everyone's really open, everyone's shared, or that's been really, and that's not something I'd really thought about in advance.
It's exceeded my expectations, which is really wonderful. And just to see the bond between the group has been really heartwarming, and just really with such a force of encouragement. I mean, that's really incredible to see in a short space of time what deep bonds can be forged, and just the love shared between all of us and the clarity. And I think the blend of the program worked really, really well, just to create a real flow and a real balance, inner harmony and outer harmony. So I'm very humbled and very grateful.
Yeah, I think you've both said it. I think that's right. I think it has exceeded my expectations. I mean, you always know when you do these kind of things, you've got the expertise to know that you can put on the program and to make the program work, and that it will do the things it needs to do. But you don't quite know the colour or the flavour that it will work, because each group is different. But I'm just so glad that people have really, really embraced the whole thing. This kind of stuff is challenging, isn't it? Because it's challenging on you in terms of your mind, your thoughts, mind, body and spirit. It's challenging on you in terms of where you are in your business and so on. The whole environment where you're meeting new people could potentially be challenging, and being open and so on. And people have really just embraced it, and as you said, forged really strong friendships. And I think it's made it, whilst we've been working hard, I think it's made it really joyful for us.
Totally, yeah. There was the synergy between everybody, I think, really made it really joyful, and it was really, it was such a joy and such a pleasure to create this and to realize it and to go through the motions of it, and it blossomed into a fruit which we didn't think was going to blossom, and it really ripened into something super sweet and juicy.
Definitely, and I think there's something, there's a great feeling of success, or there's something very special in having a vision and then bringing it to fruition. And I think that's really something that's very special and very dear to me. And then it makes every effort, every moment spent on cultivating this vision, this dream, it just makes it so worthwhile. And just seeing all of the new projects just emerge from within this, within this soul trader, entrepreneurial or business leader sort of context. It's it's just amazing to see how things, you know, when the right people come together, when the right causes and conditions are there, when it's created in a conducive space that serves everybody, creates harmony and flow. It's just amazing to see that happen. And I think really the word is fruition.
Yeah, you know, I think that's a really important thing to say, because not only are people coming here to work on their own businesses, but they've gone away with actual contacts, connections. People have been sharing information that actually can help, contacts and connections that would be really difficult to find, as well as them pledging and generally already beginning to help each other. So that's really incredible. And on top of that, there are some joint projects that we're thinking about, as well as obviously this whole retreat is a joint project. And that's what this kind of stuff is about, that stuff that's actually going to make an actual impact for people in their lives and their businesses and for the benefit of others. And all the things that are being talked about are being things not just to benefit the sole traders that are here, but all of them are about enabling and supporting others in their life, in their work, and in their life's work. And that's, for me, is what it's all about.
Definitely, and I think there's really something to be said also, you know, for Rashid, like bringing this vision to completion and having that kind of the sole leader, you know, giving the guidance to a group of people, bringing that together. I think that's really valuable, and that just shows, you know, such a wonderful mirror to see how this week we've all embodied that. We've all become sole leaders, you know, and we need a guide on that path to be able to do that. So that's really powerful to see in action in just a very short time how that can happen.
You know, I just want to say at this point a real big thanks to you both, because setting the scene for this thing to work, taking people out of their actual environment, getting them to a new place, and providing the setting for that to really work, which will always need to be tailored to the individuals. Really taking them mindfully through things like yoga, where some people may be comfortable, some people may not be comfortable, and where everyone's really enjoyed that. Food-wise, where everyone's been commenting so much the food, in fact they want a cookbook, you know, but everything else just along the way, just to make sure that everyone feels comfortable throughout the way. I think that you've done that really, really seamlessly, and with just such heart. I think that's made it, you know, really extra special, that people feel at home, and in some ways even more comfortable than sometimes when they're at home, and with things that they can take back to their homes to enhance their lives, which is actually what we're after in the first place. So, you know, thank you both for that. I think it's worked very, very well.
Archie, it could not be done. I think it was really a combination of causes and conditions. You know, with maybe the three causes of the three of us, but so many conditions coming together, and without any one of them, maybe this wouldn't have happened, or wouldn't have succeeded if we'd given up in the planning stage, or if we'd given up in the next stage. You know, so many factors could have arisen to prevent this, and I think, you know, with your encouragement and, you know, that yes, this is still a good idea, yes, let's give it that. You know, it's really, and I think to see the fruition of it really makes me think, okay, when's the next one?
Well, we've been thinking about that already, isn't it? And that's already discussions of that.
Definitely, and I think it's also something so powerful even to you know, have this very same group in a few years to be able to come together in somewhere and see where everybody's at. I think that's just a very meaningful thing, because there's that accountability, the seeds have been sown, and the trust created between each other is very, very powerful to see.
Yeah, she was just saying that. I just thought that the tagline of the retreat, intention, compassion, transformation. So that intention and that compassion to do that, and that heart to do that, which everyone has, and then to see that kind of transformation and see the transformation that others are helping others, that will be exciting. I think we will have to try and find best to make that happen. But thanks so much, and thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. What's the journey been like?
Been very cathartic for me. I've
Yeah.
had a chance to kind of really reflect and get some new insights, you know. So yeah.
Challenging at times. Definitely challenging.
Revealing.
How are you feeling on this final day? Happy, sad, mixed emotions? How are you feeling?
Mixed.
Definitely mixed.
Yeah.
Want to go, but don't want to go.
Yeah.
Want to keep that momentum and that feeling of the friends that we've made.
There's definitely a clarity around what needs to be done, and I guess an eagerness to take those steps, combined with that question mark of will we be as focused without Rashid and the group here.
Yeah.
But I think we're all feeling, you know, confident and
Yeah. And what would your thoughts be to anyone who's thinking of like taking a retreat out or taking that time out to look at themselves and their lives and their businesses? What any thoughts for anyone who's thinking about it, but maybe a bit scared or apprehensive or doubtful even?
Get rid of those reservations, because I think it's essential. You know, you can only see what you can see when you're in the midst and the thick of running your enterprise, but in stepping out we become clearer, and having that support group as well as the guidance of you, Rash, has just been completely invaluable.
Wonderful. And I'm wondering if you had to just use just a word for how you're feeling or how you want to be moving forward. Give us just one word each.
Liberated.
Intentional.
Purposeful.
Vulnerable.
Confident.
Oh, wonderful. Loving it. Well, thank you all. Have a wonderful time. Have a wonderful time back. Thank you so much. Carry on the friendships, the conversation. That make a great photograph. We'll have to take a photograph of that too. Thank you. Take care. Have a lovely journey back. Thanks. Excellent. I often say to people, know your magic, trust your magic, know that you're a manifestation of life's magic. So giving yourself that space and seeking out the support and trying to create a little bit of structure in order to move yourself forward will help you move yourself forward.